Ryan Reynolds' childhood teacher reached out to me, and I wasn't going to share it, but I think I have to now because it's super interesting and compelling for those of us that are interested in the psychology of this couple.
That's been really he's a millennial girl. He is you don't see superhero movies, especially male superhero movies like that, but I'm his only friend. So and there's a lot of
romance is real between the two of them.
So, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds, the self-proclaimed king of sarcasm, has finally met his match. But no, it's not Hugh Jackman this time. It's none other than his wife, Blake Lively. The same Blake who somehow balances a successful Hollywood career, raising multiple kids, and running a lifestyle empire, all while consistently making Ryan look like a clueless dad in their hilarious Instagram roast battles. But this time, she might have taken it just a bit too far.
9 hours to get through and understand the entire Justin Baldoni lawsuit. I would be lying to you guys if I didn't say reading this and going fine-tooth comb and really making it meaningful to just look at the facts alone really completely changed my entire perspective on the situation. So I'm going to do my best to go through the most important points that I found, because I think I discovered some things that I have not seen anybody else talk about.
Candace Owens posted her story saying she spoke to a source that claims Ryan Reynolds is the problem. She says the tip came from someone who allegedly worked on the set and said lately everyone is bashing Blake Lively, but apparently the true villain of the saga is Ryan.
The drama between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has now escalated into a full-blown legal battle. Both stars suing each other over a tangled web of claims that revolve around their collaboration on the 2024 film It Ends With Us. Lively, known for her roles in Gossip Girl and A Simple Favor, claims that Baldoni, the film's director, tried to destroy her career through a smear campaign after she brought forth allegations of sexual harassment and a hostile work environment against him. On the flip side, Baldoni says Lively went too far by exerting control over production, threatening to withhold promotion unless her demands were met. He also argues that she falsely portrayed their professional relationship to the public, tarnishing his reputation. And while Lively is suing Baldoni for sexual harassment, retaliation, and false slight invasion of privacy, among other claims, Baldoni is countering with a defamation and civil extortion lawsuit, claiming that Lively not only made false allegations against him, but weaponized them to force him into complying with her demands.
Apparently, the internet has decided that Blake Lively is the reason Ryan Reynolds is cancelled. Because in the age-old tradition of social media outrage, guilt by association is always a thing. Did Ryan actually do anything wrong? No. But when has that ever stopped people from labeling a celebrity as problematic?
Wife posted something on Instagram and she wrote this. Last week I left my kids for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Look, she looked very happy.
Yeah.
So were you with the 4 kids?
I was with the 4 kids.
How was that?
Single dad. I'm a Reba McEntire film. Single dad, doing it, just doing it for them, right? Took them to the park, told them mommy left when they were young. Surprisingly, you get a lot of action that way. We had a good time. No one died.
No, yeah, it was so confident.
And 4 kids, you just surrender, right?
You just have to surrender.
We surrender. When we had our 4th night, we were so happy because we always wanted to make sure that we had always someone on hand to give me instructions. And now
it's rolling sickness.
There's just never a healthy, full, clean slate.
Is Ryan actually freaking out? Well, for a guy who treats PR disasters like stand-up comedy, his version of panic is probably just another sarcastic tweet. But one thing's for sure, this time he might not be able to joke his way out of it. Let's break it down.
Alleging that everything started when Ryan Reynolds decided to stroll onto the movie set one day, the dailies. This is an industry term for all the footage that they filmed in day. He also decided to take a look at the script, and between the two, something allegedly set him off. This person claims that the production assistant said over Ryan and Blake having an argument in her trailer. Ryan Reynolds started being on the set on a regular basis as if he were her chaperone, and that is when he started inserting himself into the actual production, including writing lines. And then she says the next part was alleged in their lawsuits that Ryan and Blake, perhaps in response to her husband's anger, began inserting himself in the effort to change lines and change scenes. Then, of course, the allegation that Ryan Reynolds was making fun of Justin Baldoni in his movie when he played the character Night School. We did hear this, I believe, from Justin's lawsuit. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she also says that allegedly Ryan presented an ultimatum to WME, the biggest talent agency in Hollywood, whose client roster include everyone from Taylor Swift to Justin Baldoni.
So what did Blake Lively do to supposedly get Ryan Reynolds cancelled? Well, that depends on who you ask. Some claim she made an offhand comment that didn't sit well with the internet. Others point to an old social media post, one of those seemingly harmless things that no one cared about at the time, but suddenly becomes a scandal years later. And of course, there's the classic scenario. She just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the outrage machine needed a new target. Either way, social media did what it does best: overreact. And since Ryan is married to Blake, he's automatically guilty by association. That's just how online outrage works. One half of a celebrity couple sneezes, and the other half gets blamed for the whole cold.
Accusing Justin Baldoni of sexual harassment, followed by an attempted PR takedown of her to cover his own ass of people finding out what he did. In the article titled, "We Can Bury Anyone," Blake Lively heroically shares the story, and the world's on her side because it looks like she was just trying to take down a predator in Hollywood. So Justin Baldoni and his ace lawyer launched an all-cylinder-fire attack to the thing he started by suing the New York Times, saying that article was just published because it was paid for by Ryan Reynolds, and it was a multi-layered scheme planned out by Blake and Ryan to take down. And I think it's pretty common knowledge that the mainstream media will lie on behalf of their powerful friends who take them up and say firm. But this is a joke because the New York Times has never lost a lawsuit in their life, but it doesn't just release some very piping hot information that seemingly proves that Blake and Ryan Reynolds were colluding with the New York Times.
Being Ryan, his first instinct was probably to crack a joke about it. That's just who he is. He's been roasting himself for years. His career, his movies, his life choices. The guy literally turned Deadpool into a box office, hit by poking fun at himself.
Ryan Reynolds actually has a book that is published. It's not, he didn't write the book, but essentially, this is some Comic-Con stuff, guys. Like literally, like if you're deep into Marvel Universe or DC Universe, you may know about these things. I definitely did not know about these things, but they create these books, essentially, about all of the movies, and they're sort of these art books. This one's called Marvel Studios, Deadpool and Wolverine, the art of the movie. Essentially what that is a gallery of never-before-seen artwork, which is the description, and exclusive lithographs, and in-depth interviews with the creative team. And so they sit down with these characters and people that created them, and they ask them questions. And I'm scared. I'm so scared. So I'm going to read you directly what Ryan had to say when they sat down with him to discuss Night School. Okay, I'm going to show you this, and then I'll give you the exact quote.
This time, though, the internet wasn't laughing. Instead of rolling their eyes and moving on, people started digging. Someone resurfaced their 2012 wedding at a plantation. A controversy Ryan and Blake apologized for multiple times. Others began scrutinizing every joke Ryan has ever made about Blake, as if humor itself is now a crime. And of course, the classic outrage accusation popped up. He's performatively woke, but still part of the problem.
Ago, the judge overseeing their federal case in New York, Judge Lyman, ruled on the former B-list actress's request an additional layer of protection. The unliftable Blake was not happy with the standard protective order in the case. She wanted an attorney's eyes only designation, and the judge has granted that. Congrats to Taylor Swift. On the judge's ruling, spokesperson for Delulu says, quote, "Today, the court rejected the Wayfarer party's objections and entered the protections needed to ensure free flow of discovery material without any risk of witness intimidation or harm to any individual security. With this order in place, Ms. Lively will move forward in the discovery process to obtain even more of the evidence that will prove her claims in court.